So this is Phantom Electric Ghost. We're live on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch channels. And we're going to talk today about some music that we wrote. We wrote a brand new song. We call it One True Heart. And it's for somebody who's really dear and close to our heart. We like to write songs about the people we really feel about. And so we decided, go in our home studio, try to craft something from the feelings we had. And sometimes we get a little bit into our synthesizers, and we're kind of focused on electronic kind of industrial sound, and so it might be kind of odd the type of sounds we choose to use for our material. But we today we were working with our Moog DFAM, which is a drummer from another mother. in the whole history there is like Moog Music had these sessions at their factory when they were doing them before the COVID, where they would have these special classes where you could build a synth from scratch. I think one of the first ones was like this kind of they had this one that was like a build your own kit, which they actually the work stat. Then they had this thing called the where they did the Mother 32, and then they did the brother from a mother, and then they did the DFAM. And for a while, the DFAM didn't come out. The Mother 32 and the work stat were the only ones that came out. And then they did a vocoder. Like I said, they did the brother from another mother. The DFAM, which is really cool, is a very unique drum machine, and it's a pretty central feature of this next song we're going to talk about. And what we like to do is actually use a Make Noise mass module, which is the utility module for Eurorack. And what you do with that module is you can introduce additional LFOs. You can control where the voltage control amplifiers from the controlled voltage wiring, where that goes into the synth, and how you can basically take a DFAM beat, run it through an LFO and an envelope, change the beat structure. Slow it down like a delay, put some breaks into it, have some other things happen with an envelope where it comes in and comes out. And then we also like to just record with our DFAM and use the knob for functions and actually control the levels on all the control panels on the filter, the envelopes, the oscillators, and get a unique sound kind of point in time like a painter. And that's one of the things we like to do with our analog synths, is to kind of point in time record them directly and then get very unique sounds that basically go into our Zoom R24, and they can be reused there, like they're on tape, but they're digital tape. So then what you can do, if you can go out to a club, and we've done this in New York and Boston, is actually have all these things on our Zoom R16 or 24 and kind of mute and unmute tracks. We've seen like Alessandro Cortini from Nine Inch Nails use like Tascam tape machines in that way, and I've been using R16s, R24s that way. So if I want to do a song the way I wrote it, I can have mute and unmute all these tracks that I have on an R16 or R24. And then play live. Like I said, well, I'm going to play the drum live, or I'm going to play the guitar part live, I'm going to do the vocal live. I can have some of the backing tracks still there, but I can then run some of the stuff through processors. I can run it through effects like, MX1 Performance Mixer. I can run it through my Moog. And so then I can control it in that way and alter it. But this song here is the only song I'm going to talk about. We're going to cue it up. It's One True Heart. And we're just going to show. We actually created the video. We like to create videos. We've been using some interesting iPhone 12 apps that we create our videos with source video that we take with our iPhone or with our Zoom Q8. And then a lot of times we'll take a performance that we've done. This is actually a performance we did a couple of weeks ago. And then we really altered it with this iPhone app. And we use actually two different iPhone apps. We won't tell you the secret sauce. And that's one of the cool things, that you can take a video like an MPEG, run it through one app, save it, then run it through another app. Sometimes we run like 4 different apps by the time we finish with one of our videos. And it's just the aesthetic. It's kind of like what you see is what you get. Like what you hear is what you get with our DAWless recording. But we'll get into the song and bore those who don't like production stuff. But we're going to get into One True Heart right now. If I could play it.
Never thought that darling talk was ever for a man like me. But now I darling fast in love, and I know that love could be. 6 scenes in, I know what I need. On the 9th floor, I know what I need. My darling's with me. My darling's with me. I never thought that darling talk was ever meant for a boy like me. My jet black Dr. Lover, she says love will be. She says I'm a part of her. I say she's a part of me. And that's the kind of love that the whole world needs. 6 floors in, I already know. But the 9th floor will be letting go. All those inhibitions, they leave us alone. You know, a soul knows another soul. A soulmate not on her own. I never thought darling talk was meant for anybody, not me. But my jet black hair doctor love, she says she knows what will be. She's so into me, I'm so into you. And the scene, I know that love will be. 6 floors in, I already know. On the 9th floor will be love letting go. And down into the soul. I know that she's so fine. I know this to drink up like I want. And I could never too much imbibe. There's a sensual vibe that comes from inside. Never thought that anyone could really be for me. My darling Dr. Love, jet black hair on the scene. It falls over my face when I talk to her and dream. And what we do when we kiss is nobody's business. See, I never thought darling talk was meant for anybody, not you or me. But now we're in so deep, my love is never just a dream. Yeah, kissing will be, and the love will let me free. Let me be what I wanna be with my darling dream. 6 floors in, I already know. On the 9th floor, darling, will be letting the bitches go. Leave it alone. Yeah, 6 floors in, we already know. On the 9th floor, darling, we'll be letting go. Those inhibitions kill, they kill the soul. You're already part of me, I'm part of you. There's no part of scene that ain't true. You're already part of me, I'm part of you. We we know what we got to do. You're 6 floors in, I already know. But 9th floor, darling, all where my shit go. They kill the soul. 9th floor in, nobody knows inhibitions. Kill the soul. But 9th floor in, everybody knows inhibitions. Kill the soul. You're 6 floors up and over in. There's a dolly with the jet black hair on my lip. No one has the right to see what we do. No one has the right to know our love is true. But one true heart, she won't let me down. But one true heart, she's gonna be around. Never calm down. One true heart, she won't let me down. Now all those others mess me around. Wants me.
So we're back, and that was One True Heart, and a song we actually recorded today after we did our day job. And yeah, we're in our studio, and I think that thing is still going. Yeah, it's just inspiration is always interesting when you're a musician. You take it from like your life. You take what's going on in your life. You use it. Oh, come on, that's not turn that off. Yeah, I turned that off. So there was something coming through on my other headphone, but I don't think you guys heard it. Yeah, so this whole situation with my music and how I get inspired has been the constant, thing since I was like 17. I was 17 years old. I'd watching MTV, watching the Clash, watching the Sex Pistols, seeing early Prince and stuff, and David Bowie, and I just got this idea like, well, I could do that. Not be Bowie, but maybe be like the Sex Pistols or be like the Clash. And so since then, all the guys I used to play with when I was 17, they kind of fell off, and they didn't have the passion about it. I'm still really into it. I built this home studio. We have this podcast. Now the podcast, when we talk to other people, we talk to musicians, it's been doing pretty well. We're getting about 2-3 guests a week. We have a bunch of cool guests coming. We're talking to a poet on Friday. We're talking to a Warner Brothers artist on Sunday. We're talking to an artist from London on Sunday. So there's 3 interviews already on deck for this week. We're going to be promoting them on my Instagram. And then we have our own music, which we like to run. And I think I'm going to run another song that I really get into that I wrote that was really cool because I was trying to figure out, I'm a fan of Electric Ghost, and I haven't been wearing my ghost costume. I've been kind of doing it unmasked. My ghost costume, I'm actually trying to upgrade. There's a new company that's got this really cool mask that it's LED, and you can kind of change what's on it. You can actually have all kinds of characters. You can design your own stuff. And so the idea is like, okay, when we're doing Josephine Electric, we could actually have a female face on this mask and then have my LED hoodie or an LED robe, which we actually be looking at a bigger robe. So when I'm playing Josephine, I could be on this kind of cape and then have her face on my face. And the whole idea with the Phantom is that we never wore dresses. We never tried to be like Josephine. I wasn't trying to play like that. The idea is, Josephine is like the female side of me, but we play it like a phantom because that's where Phantom Electric goes. So when we go on stage, we have a Phantom mask, we have an LED hoodie, and you can't really tell the sex of who I am. Then the whole idea is like, so if there's a male voice comes out of this Phantom mask with this LED hoodie, or a female voice comes out, you can't really tell. I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not doing that. But the idea is like we could get a little bit more expressive. We could have a long kind of Phantom of the Opera cape. And I've been looking at that. And within this new LED mask, it could actually put, when I do a Josephine vocal, female vocal, puts the Josephine cartoon character of what I think she looks like on my face. And then when I do a Phantom character, I have like a more masculine feature. And it's just something that we've been looking at for many years, and now there's some technology allow us to do it. So we've been kind of doing unmasked for a little while. Though we do have this one performance that we changed. We did an effect after the fact to kind of make me kind of dissolve into Kirby dots, so that I would look interesting. And so we're going to try to bring that up now. I'm just looking for it on my YouTube channel. And we've played this song before, but it's something I really like. We actually submitted it for a film contest. And my friend, my dear Heart, she helped pick it out this morning, helped me figure out which one I was going to pick for a song. So I'm looking for it now, trying to go through my library and see where it is. Yeah. So this song was interesting because it used this effect again off the iPhone after we did a live show. And then we did this effect that kind of makes me dematerialize in real time. So we're going to bring this one up, and we're not going to play it all the way yet. But we got it queued up. And then we're going to go through the magic of StreamYard where we can share our YouTube channel, and hopefully, this one we haven't released yet, so we shouldn't get dinged by the copyright police because we actually own it. We wrote it. But sometimes when we interview folks and we play their video, sometimes we get somebody who wants to say, "Oh, yeah, why are you doing that?" It's like, well, we're actually interviewing your artist, so you shouldn't actually try to mute the video because your artist actually wants to do the interview. But it's been working out that most of the time we don't get a problem with that now. But we did get a problem sometimes. We play a video and then they mute it because they say you don't own the copyright, and actually the video was ours. So that's kind of crazy. But I'm just making sure I got this right, so I got to do it again. You never know how this stuff works. We're trying to do something interesting, but we'll keep on talking while I'm trying to do a technical thing by share my screen. So this is a really interesting other topic that we've been talking to a lot of bands, and we've interviewed almost 40 bands over the last 3 years, almost 50, probably closer to 50. And what we want to do, since everybody can't do things because of COVID, they can't do shows, right? Or they're starting to, is that we want to have all the bands and all the musicians that we've ever talked to and the poets actually do an online festival, like the Ghost Festival, Fam Electric, or Peg, Peg by Peg, maybe not. But we everybody could play from their home studio or a cool venue on the channel. We can have like a bunch of bands queued up. I think we have almost 10 different people queued up at once. So we could have people kind of ready to go. People go and run and do a show for like 20 minutes from their house, and then we go to the next one. So we just wanted to see if that could work. And we've been actually, every artist we've interviewed in the last 3 weeks, we've kind of told them that we want to do this. The other thing we want to do is see if we can get sponsors that would be into it. We've got some sponsors that sponsor the program, like wickedflannel.com. So go out and use the code Fam Electric, and you get 15% off cool flannel. So that's, yeah, you probably didn't want to hear that. But so you see, we got Want to Trust My Beautiful Lady. Now, this was about like this lady I got kind of enamored with a couple years ago that I really got tied into. And, I have a habit of maybe getting too into my head and not really understanding the situation like a lot of artists do. It's like you romanticize like what you're thinking about, and then you end up, like, if you're an artist, you end up putting it into a song. Taylor Swift, she talks about all her ex-lovers, and Billy Joel, almost every Dylan. I mean, every songwriter kind of name checks who they've ever been hanging out with, and then that's probably not cool for the people going out with them. But this song is kind of this idea and we kind of did a subterfuge, like, okay, Josephine's talking about a female that she's in love with, because she kind of goes both ways. And then this idea that she doesn't trust her. But then Josephine's kind of being hypocritical because she's saying, she can go out with a beautiful fan and have like an extra relationship, but she's jealous when her girlfriend does the same thing. And so this whole idea is like Josephine trying to create like a rule for her lover that she can't go outside the relationship, but then Josephine can, and then Josephine gets jealous when she sees her beautiful lady doing that. And it's kind of like, well, that's not fair. That's not cool. You shouldn't do that. But then Josephine, she's kind of does whatever she wants to do. So we're going to get into it now. I've got it queued up. And, well, at least I thought I had it queued up. So let's try it again. So, I think the idea about Josephine has been very interesting for us, because before we introduced the female vocal for Josephine Electric, we had maybe 1,000 people who listened to our SoundCloud. Now we're over 75,000 on the SoundCloud. We've had some songs on Spotify hit like 33,000, 10,000 listens, 4,000 or 5,000 listens. So, in our original SoundCloud, we had hit almost like 90,000 listens. So, and now with the podcast, we're over 31,000 listeners on the podcast. So we're starting to get a pretty good base of people who are into us, and we're getting continued guests, and we're getting record labels interested in us actually interviewing artists from their stable. And so that's just something that's been really cool to see kind of grow since 2018 that we got into this game. And just a little like hint, before we were 2018 on Anchor, we were on this app called StreamYard, now Spearmint. And we were this guy called Rock Tunes. He actually found me, and we used to talk about my music exclusively on Rock Tunes on Spearmint. And Spearmint was a podcast app, like an audio podcast app, like Anchor. And so we used to live there, and it was pretty cool. But then they wouldn't support like international podcasts. If I tried to talk to somebody in London, suddenly it stopped working because Apple did some change to their program, and they couldn't afford to do it. And they went into video processing. They do a thing called Headliner now, which I actually use a lot sometimes. And so now we got this thing queued up. We're going to get into it, and we're going to play Want to Trust My Beautiful Lady.
I got a girl on my mind. She is what they find. She keep me in mind. When I look into her eyes, she keep me in mind. She gave me a night. I feel over. Precious is the time I gaze into her eyes. I'm precious in the night when I catch a glimpse of her. You're holding her tight. I want to live away. Everybody knows that I'm so afraid that she just comes away. I know that we're great. so afraid of everything. Where she's gonna land. I just had to get up there tonight. I gotta know everything's gonna be alright. I know it's my plan. Oh, you're gonna be when I got it. You told myself that you're not single. Yes, I read everything. I know I shouldn't be afraid. I should trust my lady. But I shouldn't be so damn crazy. I should just find a baby. Maybe she forgot to take off her ring. I'm so afraid, please, baby. I don't want to ask her again. I know it's the best friend. I want to get back this game. I should try, baby. I should be going crazy. I know she's with her friend. I just don't hope to get in. I should try to go to my baby. I should trust my beautiful lady. She's got me. I'm a teen. I should trust my baby. I should be so lady. I know I should ask where she been. I've also been with a beautiful friend. I'm gonna be with a beautiful friend. I'm gonna go see her. If I don't stand it for my baby, I shouldn't be so damn crazy. And she wants to be with Georgia. She wants to be with Bill Orkin. Oh, just let her. I should be so crazy. I know I should let my DNA. That's where.
Let's get back to we're back into the program. So yeah, that was that song. Let's stop that. Yeah, so that was that song, and it's weird. Somehow, when I originally did that performance, on StreamYard, somehow the camera thought it was upside down. So, but a Phantom can go like 360, so that's okay. Yeah, the other song we have queued up is a song that we like a lot that we put together that we're going to get into. And then we'll just kind of play that one to the end of the show. It's called Ascending into Darling Mode. And this idea that when you're in getting into a romantic relationship, instead of like saying that you're falling in love, you say that you're ascending into love. So it's like flipping the little switch there. That the idea of falling is, well, something is like negative is happening, but when it's actually ascending, something positive is happening. But everybody's always talking about falling in love because a lot of times, like, love hurts. It doesn't feel good, even though it's supposed to feel good. It's not like working out. Like the person that you love actually ends up hurting you more than making you feel better. And so the idea here is like, okay, this is a more positive relationship that the two people coming together are ascending in a good way, in a positive way. And we did some cool effects with actually the lyrics, coined this guy word lyric morphing that we call. It's another technique that we use. So we're going to cue this up and we're going to get into ascending into darling mode. So let's get into it right now while we cue it up and get it into the right position and start it.
Ascending into darling mode. Gonna get so close. Ascending into darling mode. Gonna kiss on that love bird. Ascending into darling mode. Wanna know you so. And I know what a man or woman should know. When they get so close, and when they get stone alone, ascending into darling mode. You know what you wanna know. Could you be the one that I could hold? The one I know 8,000 miles away, leave my soul ascending into darling mode. No more descending into that rabbit hole. I know what I want to know. I wanna catch the breath off your soul. Wanna know you the way I want love to grow. Wanna know your heart and soul. Sending into darling mode is when you're so close, not alone. You hold her and you can't let go. There's a feeling that's so gold. Yeah, that's a feeling that's so gold. Sending into darling mode. No more descending down the rabbit hole. You're the one I wanna know. On the Ferris wheel, I wanna get so close. The Ferris wheel, I wanna get so close. The only woman I wanna know. Sending into darling mode. You know that I can't let it go. You're the woman I wanna know. It's heart's gold. No more descending down the rabbit hole. You're the woman that I want to know. You're the woman I want to hold so close, ascending into darling mode. Feel the breath of the skin so close. Wanna know how to get beyond the ghosts of love that steals your very soul. Ascending into darling mode. Yeah, I could never let go. On that Ferris wheel, Hong Kong. Wanna hold you, kiss you all night long. It can't be right, can't be wrong. It's love is listed where love belongs. We're sailing in the darling mode. Did you know when you want it close? You know when love's not a family electric ghost. You know when you feel it in your soul. No more diving down the rabbit hole. You know what you know. Ascending into darling mode. When you got your darling, it's so close and so good. It's soul's gold. Yeah, it's soul's gold. Yeah, ascending into darling mode. No longer carrying record of sauce. So ascending into darling mode. You know it's your heart's gold. You could never be this close. It doesn't matter when goes not goes. Know what you want to know. Know what you really want to know. Know what you want to know. When you hold your darling so close, so cold, all the darkness goes and everything's cold. Sending into darling mode. We'll do this one over and over. Don't you know? This is soul's gold. We're gonna do it till we lose control. In love with the darling, you should know. Ascending into darling mode. Hell yeah, yeah. When you're in love with the darling, you should know.
So that's Josephine saying, and she's in love with the darling she should know. And the other kind of key line is like you're sending into darling mode, but it's like soul's gold. This idea that it's more precious than any precious metal, gold, to actually have this love that is not descending, not falling, but both people are ascending in the same parallel symbiotic line. And it's a very powerful type of love where it's not destructive, it's very positive, it's like fulfilling. It's not unfulfilling love. It's ascending love, ascendant love. And one of the things with this song is you got the sloppy keys. I kind of got this jazz influence. I've been like really inspired by a band called Sun Ra and bebop jazz and fusion jazz. And so on purpose, it's a little out of time because it's a very kind of, the reason we use the Josephine electric vocal is because it's having the female vocal conveys the sensitivity of this whole idea. If we used like a deep, dark voice or this voice, it wouldn't kind of convey the sensitivity, kind of like why Smokey Robinson does. And I'm not trying to say I'm Smokey, but if I use the female voice in the song, it tends to express the kind of feeling that this is an ascendant love. This is a kind of sappy little song, but it's a little different because, I got some off timing. I got the drums that are a little strange. It's kind of like a tribal beat. It's actually using Roland JDXI through an Arturia BeatStep Pro, kind of random chain patterns, kind of run into a randomizer, changing it up here and there, and then we manually kick it in some rolls here and there. And then the piano playing is kind of just inspired. You got the core arrangement, and then you kind of run in doing like, keyboard runs to affect it. It was done multiple times, a couple takes. This is probably like the third take. And I actually got more perfect runs that were less timing issues in them, but there's something about the kind of haphazardness of it that I like. I'm kind of a glitchy guy when it comes to certain types of compositions, like kind of like Keith Richards guitar playing. If you think about the Stones, it's not exactly perfect timing. And I think that's one thing's kind of lost in music today. Is like, if you do everything with perfect timing, you don't have some character. And this song has a certain character because of the imperfect timing and the kind of, happy accents or mistakes that are in the recording give it the character that I liked, in the way it's just like, okay, this is a point in time. If I play this song, I'm probably not going to play all those little runs the same way. I mean, I could actually just run it the way it is on the tape, and you get the exact version you hear, like it's on the YouTube video. But when I play it live, I tend to kind of change it up. Sometimes I try to play it a little more tighter, a little less variability. It's kind of what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling for this dream love character, which might actually be a real person, but I'm not gonna tell you everything. But its idea is kind of like when you're a musician, you play what you feel at the time. So if you're really digging somebody and you're really feeling it, you're gonna kind of relay that in the way you play the keys, the way you play the notes on the guitar, the way you play the drums. That's the whole idea. And that's it for tonight. For the songs that we put together, this kind of just running some stuff from our YouTube videos from our home studio. We do this from time to time. We kind of talk off our rocker a little bit. But we're in our Turner Bello shirt. Now, Turner Bello had originally did the cover of our album from a long time ago. So Turner Bello is an artist, turnerbello.com. You should go and check his art. He does kind of MC Escher, black and white art. And it's pretty cool. He actually did a cover of an album called To Infinitum that we did with All Control K. It's a collab we did back in 2017. Pretty cool album. Go check it out on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, all the places. It was a really cool collab. We do miss working with All Control K. You never know if she's watching. We did like the work that we did with you. And then the other, things that we're working on right now, or we just talked about briefly, is trying to get all the artists that we've ever talked to do like an online show, and including the Ghost. We'd probably go, run something from our studio, which is over there. You see our studio set with our trusty Roland Juno JDXI BeatStep Pro, and if we move it over a little bit more, you'll see the Modes, the Grandmother, the Mother 32, and the D-Fam, and the Arturia Maybach 2S. And we also got on deck our little micro synth that we like to run, the OPZ, which we talked about before. We won't get into that today. But everybody, good night. Be safe out there. We'll talk to you guys later. We got like 3 interviews this week. Friday, 1 interview with a poet. And then we've got 2 interviews on Sunday. So talk to you later.